All right, we're going to talk about the Heisman frontrunner Cam Ward playing Friday night for the Miami Hurricanes against Virginia Tech. So the ACC opener for the Canes. Cam Ward has looked really good so far. I'm not sure he's had what you would even consider a mildly average game. He's been pretty awesome in every game. And now he's playing against a team that in its 2 losses have gotten torched through the air.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, Miami fans are afraid of a meltdown, and Miami haters are waiting for the meltdown that we have become accustomed to for this program, and they've gotten off the fast starts in the last, decade plus. And I just kind of have a feeling, Andy, that this year is just different. And the reason why is because they have a quarterback who's not only somebody who came in, in the summer for them to build their program around, but is actually producing at that level. Like, I don't watch Cam Ward play and feel like this is a system quarterback or somebody who's just had a good run of a few weeks. I look at Cam Ward as somebody who's just legitimately very good. And if he can continue to protect the football, make plays with his legs when needed, while also just keeping his eyes downfield and getting his receivers involved. And Miami has really good receivers. You have a potential quarterback in this position that isn't only just in the Heisman Trophy conversation, but in the conversation for being one of the best players in college football when the college football playoff comes around the corner here in a few months.
And the thing about Cam Ward is he's got better players around him than he had at Washington State. I think we keep comparing the Cam Ward of now to the Cam Ward of Washington State. He's got a better line. He has better skill talent around him. And you've seen how comfortable and confident he looks. And I mean, he's averaging 11.7 yards per attempt. It actually hasn't been that different from game to game. Like, he averaged 11 against Florida and 11.7 against Florida A&M and 11.9 against South Florida. Like, he's playing the same game regardless of the opponent, the defense, you name it. And, if you look at Virginia Tech, in their 2 losses, they've actually been pretty good against the run. They've gotten torched through the air. Diego Pavia averaged 11.9 yards per attempt in the Vanderbilt game. And then Ethan Kaliakmanis in the Rutgers game, 10.8 yards per attempt. The thing is, neither of them threw as much as Cam Ward's going to throw on Friday night. So this could be another big game for him. This preview is brought to you by Prize Picks, by the way. Best daily fantasy game in America. Download the app. Use the code Staples, play $5, get $50 instantly. The way it works is you're picking squares. So, like, we're talking about Cam Ward here. He's got a square, and you have to decide if he's going to throw for less than or more than 314.5 passing yards. So, let's say look at the 2 quarterbacks who've beaten Virginia Tech so far. Pavia only threw for 190, but they only attempted 16 passes. Kaliakmanis threw for 269. They attempted 25. Cam Ward is attempting more passes here. Like, against Florida, he threw 35 times. Against USF, he threw 34 times. Like, I think you can reasonably expect 35 pass attempts in this game. And if he averages 10 yards per pass attempt, well, guess what? You're getting more than that number.
Yeah, and the thing that you have to take into account too, Andy, when it comes to Cam Ward is that he's been highly effective when plays break down. But Miami, if you've watched them for the first few weeks, you and I were there for the Florida game in the opener. Their offensive line has played tremendously well. Like, he has time to operate back there and make decisions. He has time to go through progressions. He's not always locking on his top target. And guys like Xavier Restrepo, receiver, are really, really good with yards after the catch. So when you have guys with yak, Andy, you got a chance to put up some yardage.
Yeah. The yakking may be on the Virginia Tech sideline after they watch Xavier Restrepo or someone else score. But let's talk big picture about Cam Ward. He's obviously the Heisman Trophy favorite right now. There's a lot to go. But again, I keep saying game to game, he looks like the same guy. What if he just keeps putting up games like this? I mean, is he just walking away with the Heisman?
Yeah, well, you and I have a different view of how the Heisman is voted for, but I also feel like there's a lot of overlapping when it comes to that. Yeah, you, for instance, think it's as simple as giving it to the best player in the country.
You give it to the most outstanding player because that is what they inscribe on the trophy. Yeah.
And you get really fired up every time we talk about it. And mine is somebody who has a outstanding season, is very, very good at football, and There's a narrative around it as well. Like to me, it's like not only would Cam Ward have to be the best overall player in the country, or one of the best players in the country. To me, it's like bringing Miami back, gives you that extra, like, are we voting for stats? Are we voting for who plays the position the best? Or are we doing a combination of all of it? Because this year there are going to be other players that are probably better at their position. But if you also add in to account that Miami accomplished something with him that they would not have accomplished without him, I think that is every bit as valuable in the story arc of the season, and thus how I would place my vote, which I think would give Cam Ward a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I do think that if he can keep this up, and look, Miami's got to keep winning. That's part of it. Whether I want to say it or not, because I say it's most outstanding, it is part of it. That they're not going to vote for the most part. Most voters are not going to vote for a player on a team that's not winning a ton. Miami can win a ton this year, but you got to be able to win games like this. Virginia Tech needs a win here. It's a Friday night. The whole country's watching this game. It's going to be fun, but Cam Ward looks like he's in a position to have a big game.